Hi guys. Today I'm coming to you with the perfectly penciled DSP bonus class. And I actually ended up making 5 cards, I think it was, because Jessica was playing with the paper too, and I just decided to do them all. But I wanted to make this, and this is the same format of the bag that we made. If anybody that was at the last Stampin' Bingo class when we did the Splendid Thoughts bundle, and we made that little bag, this is the same way, just bigger, and it holds the standard size cards. So we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to be using a 12 by 12 piece. I decided to pair this black and white paper because this whole pack of paper is all black and white. And then you can decide what you want to do with it. The one side is going to be flowers, and the back side is going to be stripes, dots, circles. There's several patterns in it. So what you're going to, we're going to make the box first, and I have pre-colored some stuff, just so I didn't want you to watch me color 5 cards and all these things. So I kind of got prepped a little bit. I got a little ahead of myself and did one different than than how I did the original and how the directions are going to say, but you'll understand. And any way you do it, it's going to work for you. Because if you're not one that likes to color, you can always use blending brushes, because this paper, the sky's the limit on what you want to do with it. And of course, you could always keep it all black and white if you wanted to. But I picked Petal Pink and Soft Seafoam. So that's the Stampin' Blends that I used. And then I used a blending brush on a couple, or maybe it was just one. And I just used Petal Pink, but you'll see as I go through it all. But these are the only colors I used. And it was between that and Pool Party, which is one of my favorites. But I went this route, one, because I tend to go to the blues and I wanted to do something different. But I really like this Petal Pink ribbon. It's really soft. It's pretty. I just thought it would make a really pretty set. So that's why I chose the colors I chose, because I'm not really a pink person, but Petal Pink has kind of got a little bit of a peachy tone to it, which I like out of it. It's not that bright pink that we've had before. So what I'm going to do is bring in, I'm going to put the cards aside for now. Like, this is going to be one of the first cards we are going to make, but you'll see as we get going. And I'm going to put the box aside because I'm going to bring in my 12 by 12 piece. And this time I'm going to, I did really like how the stripes worked. I thought, and it lined up perfectly. I don't know how I got so lucky for that, but the stripes actually turned out really nice. I was a little afraid when I first started because I thought, oh, you know, stripes, if you get it off or something doesn't go right, you're going to notice. But it worked out great with the stripes. But I decided to do the dots this time. So here's my little template that I used. So what you're going to do first on one, it's 12 by 12. You don't have to cut this piece down at all. So you're going to score at 3 and 9. And then you'll flip it, and then you'll score at 4.5, 5.5, and 10. We are going to come back and do this other little score line, but we're going to cut these pieces away because you can cut the 10 or score the 10.5 if you want to, if you don't care about saving that little piece. But it is a nice piece that you could either cut or do something with if you wanted to. So that's up to you. If you don't care about saving that piece, then go ahead and score your 10.5. That 10.5 just gives you that extra little fold for when it's this little fold line right here for when you put the actual box together. So that's up to you. That, you know, it's up to if you want to keep that little. So it's going to be hard for you to see my score line. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish everything here. I mean, it's even hard for me to see them. And I kind of went over them a couple times, but on the black, it is very difficult to see them. I'm going to bring in my bone folder here and give them all a really good burnish. And then we have this in the middle. This is our 4.5, and then our 5.5. If you scored it really good, but not too hard that you ripped your paper, once you start kind of folding it over, it'll naturally want to go because you've already kind of given it that start. Okay, so I am going to cut this little portion right here away. Remember, this is that tab, I guess you could call it. Like I said, it's even hard for me to see. I'm going to cut from this side, and I know you guys are not going to be able to see my score lines because, like I said, I can hardly see it. Now, if you're one that's not comfortable cutting straight lines, which trust me, I don't cut straight lines, but I don't even worry about it anymore. I just cut and go for it. You can always use your paper trimmer and line it up, especially if you have the Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer, because it's got lines going in both directions, and it is helpful if you're one of those that really wants to make sure you cut your straight lines. Like I said, I don't worry about it. I just cut. I have tried it. It takes a little more time, and I just kind of got to the point I don't worry too much about it. But you can always use your paper trimmer. Okay. And I watch some people like that have done videos and stuff, and when they're cutting, and it always looks like their cuts are just so perfect and straight. Whether they really are, we don't know, because we're just watching it on a video. That's why I decided it doesn't really matter. Okay, I'm going to bring my scoreboard back in, and I'm going to line this. Whoops, let's turn it like this. You're going to turn it back this way, because what we want to do is score 10.5. So I'm going to come here, and I'm going to just come down, and I'm going to gently make sure I don't rip that. Now, see, I can tell I didn't cut that very good right there, but it'll be fine. Whoops. You want to make sure you're at that 10.5, and then we're going to score it. And I'm going to go up and down just a couple times. This paper is pretty sturdy. It's not a really thin DSP, so you're okay kind of going up and back. There are times when we have pretty thin DSP, and then it is easy to rip. I could tell I didn't quite get that straight. I'm not sure if I'm in the camera right now. Okay. Same with this one. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, if you remember when we did the other bag, you fold these two pieces in. And this is a hard one to write up how to do this, but hopefully I got it so you understand it. So you fold these two pieces in, and remember we have that 1 inch, pretty sure this is 1 inch right here. Yeah, 1 inch spot right there. So what we're going to do is you're going to take this score line right here, and we're going to fold it to meet the outside score line. And then you burnish. You can use your finger, you can use a bone folder, whatever works for you. Okay, there's one, just like that. Now we do the same thing. For me, I kind of have to flip my paper around back and forth. It depends on what works for you. So then again, here's this score line right here. You can barely see it. Well, you can't even really see it. You can just tell where that is. That, and I use my thumbnail, and I kind of just poke it in at the corner just like that, and then bring it over like this. And this time I'm just using my finger. It was much easier. Okay, so there's part of the box. Now we're going to flip it and do the same thing. I know it's a lot of flipping, but once you do it, The more you make these, the easier it is. And you know what's nice about these, honestly, is you could make a whole bunch of these boxes up in whatever paper. You don't even have to necessarily make cards to go with them because they lay flat. I'll show you here in a second. Okay, so there's that one, that one. Get myself distracted here. Here's our last one. Again, using my nail, coming over like that, lining it up. And I'm just using my fingernail right now to kind of just burnish all that down, okay? So then when you fold it in like this, there's our box. Just like that. I forgot to burnish that last score line, but there. So there's the makings of our box. Yay. But once this is all glued, these lay flat. So you could make a whole bunch of these up and they're easy to store. It's not like you don't have to store it like this. Because see, when I take these out, there it is. And even if with a little bit of decoration on it. And then when we open it back up, you can put your stuff right back in here. Whoops, got a little bend going on there. There we go. Okay. And I think you could probably actually make, excuse me, at least 6 cards to fit in here. Maybe even 8, depending on what kind of embellishments you put on them. Okay, so just like before, we're going to put our adhesive from right here in this spot here. So I'm going to show you on this side. It might be easier, but it's on the back side you're putting it on. So it's going to be in this little section here. You're not going to go into this because this is our box part. So we're putting our adhesive here and here, and then here and here. I like to use mono glue for this because it's quick and easy, but you can use tear and tape. You can use, maybe I'm going to use mono glue. You can use, here it comes, adhesive. It doesn't really matter. You just want to make sure it's strong enough that it is going to hold, you know, the opening and closing and the wear and tear. That's probably more than what I needed to add, but we'll be good. And then I just do one side at a time. Push it down since you're using glue, if you're using glue. And then turn it around and do the same thing. Okay? Now, what I did forget to mention is that you do have a little packet. Your packet has a couple strips of bling. This is what I had left over, so I just stuck it in there. You've got ribbon, and you have some stuff to decorate the front of this with, of the bag. On the directions, this is actually labeled as Project Zero because I did the bag. I had stuffed all my bags and got them all ready, and they were 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I realized that this is technically Project 1 on the directions, and I didn't want to start cutting and pasting and moving stuff around, so I just made this one Project 0. Now, you have a piece in here that is 1.5 inches by 6 inches, and I did score it in half. That is what you're going to put on here to reinforce this before you put your little Velcro piece down. In this particular case with this paper, I probably could have gone white, but I didn't really think about it. I just kind of went black. And the black will still work here too, so we'll be fine either way. All right, let me get my adhesive out. And I like to use the Stampin' Seal Plus. I feel like it rolls really nice. I like the Plus better than the regular Stampin' Seal. If you've tried the Stampin' Seal and aren't happy, try the Plus. I think you'll be very happy with the Plus. And literally this just fits right on there just like that. And then everybody has their Velcro. And I'll tell you, these are hard to cut apart because they are so close on here. So I'm just going to pull And I don't remember what size these are, but if you do want to know, just let me know and I'll look up the size. I mean, they're pretty tiny and they're not really thick. I got them on Amazon, but if you are looking for some, just let me know and I'll look it up. Okay, I don't know if there's a right or wrong to which one's supposed to be the top or bottom. I don't usually pay attention. And if you're one of these that really wants to make sure you get it in the center with the 6-inch piece, it's pretty easy to do. Center, center. You just want to make sure when they're together in their two little pieces here that they are centered on top of each other like they should be. And then what you're going to do is close up your box. And before you push it down, make sure that your box isn't like crooked or something. Straight, straight, and then push. And just give it a little bit of tug. Now you can also take a bone folder, a ruler or something and push behind there to get a little bit. And I'm actually off just a little bit, I can tell, but not enough that it's going to matter. There we go. Straighten it out. So there's our box. Cute. Aren't these just the cutest, easiest boxes to make? For me, they almost rank up there with that other folded note card thing we've made. I don't know what to call it. I guess it's not even really a box. It's a note card holder, but this kind of ranks up there with that because that one is a no glue, no adhesive, put together holder for note cards. It's not really a box and it's not really an envelope. It's kind of an envelope. But this one has very minimal adhesive to it. So I think this one and the one we made before, these are going to be kind of our go-tos for a while because I think these are great. I think they're easy to make. And you don't even have to use Velcro if you didn't want to. You could tie ribbon around here and tie it if you wanted to do it that way too. Okay, now all I did to decorate, and I've already pre-colored some stuff here. I should have already stamped that and die cut it out, and maybe I won't even run over there to do that because I forgot to get that stamp set out. I stamped everything else trying to get ahead, and I forgot about that. Oh, back up. And I did this when I made it. I forgot to, so we're going to huff this just a little bit. Actually, I'm going to loosen this up with the heat gun. Give me a minute. I forgot to add the ribbon. I'll put a note in the, I'm going to write a note right here. Ribbon. Because then I'll make sure when I edit the video, I don't really edit much. I just kind of add a few things to it and add my intro to it and stuff like that. But I will make sure I put a note in the video not to forget to add the ribbon. And see, I did that in the, when I made the first one. Not that I had forgot, I just thought it would look nice after I put it together if we added ribbon. So I kind of added it afterwards, but so hopefully I can tuck this under there. I think I loosened it up enough that I can make that work. And then I'm going to pull it across. And I'm going to cut it just enough that I have enough to tuck underneath over here too, hopefully. You could huff it if you wanted, but sometimes I've been finding out it's much easier here lately if you can to just use a heat gun. Now, if you feel like it's not going to stick when you put it back down, stick a little glue dot behind there and that'll do it. There. So we fixed that. Happens. Okay. Then I just did my little half knot. Of course, you could tie a bow. You can, there's so many different ways you can decorate with your ribbon. You don't have to just do the standard like I do. Excuse me. Can you guys believe we're this far into October and we hardly have had any rain? It's kind of getting a little scary, especially at our house because we can't remember what these are for. I think if you needed different colors, but as we go through, I think they're extras just in case. But I had already die cut mine. Oh, that, yeah. You're going to have a white piece to die cut your words, and it's big enough. And circle, circle. I didn't die cut them because I kind of thought that maybe if you wanted to use a square, rectangle, or something else, you know, any shape you have, that's why you have these pieces in your bag. And then all you're going to do, and like I said, I'm not going to put the words on this one. I just attach this to this. And the circle, and you could layer these any way you want. You don't have to put them all just like that. And then, so I colored two different ones here. I kind of wanted to see what was going to fit to what I was picking. It's not as good a flower because then one is going to go on another card if it fits right. Like, see, this one I was a little concerned about because it's much bigger. So I wasn't quite sure it was going to work as well. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. So I'm going to cut this apart right here. Now, I already colored these. I used the Petal Pink and Soft Seafoam. It's not really any fancy schmancy coloring. You guys have seen me color them before. I just didn't feel like you probably would want to watch me color all of this stuff. It would have taken us forever. Here, I'm going to cut that off. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive right here. And then we're going to... Now this one is kind of delicate right here. So I am going to eventually add some mono glue behind there. But I'm going to tuck this just like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and tuck this like that. What do you think? I like that. Now I didn't have adhesive over here, so I just need to lift that up, add a little bit of adhesive there. Okay. And then what I'm going to do here for this piece of the branch that's kind of flopping is I'm going to add some mono glue. And then we're just going to plop it down right here. Just like that. Now, because I wanted to glue this piece down, I didn't put dimensionals behind here. Originally, I had put dimensionals, but I used a different piece from that paper. So this paper that we're cutting from is this piece here, or that I cut from. And you don't have to do this kind of fussy cutting. You can always stamp a flower, die cut a flower. I'm sure you have flower sets that would work for it. I just was trying to use at least one of all the pieces of paper. And this particular one is a great one to fussy cut around. Not everybody likes to fussy cut, and I'll be honest, I do not like to fussy cut, but I did. So this time I didn't pop it up with dimensionals like I did on the original, and I'm going to glue some of these down right here too then. I'm just going to put a little bit there. And see, I also know that now this circle needs a little bit more adhesive there. I got a little overzealous putting glue here and plopping it down before I had dimensionals. Okay, then you can just, it just wants to come loose because I keep poking on it. And you could put your phrase. And you could stamp and die cut another circle if you wanted. I did the Charming Sentiments, the Just For You, which is what I'd stamp and die cut, but I forgot to get that out. My bad. But there's the box. And I still have to say I like the stripes. Much better. This one is beautiful on its own, but I like the stripes. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean there's not another backside of them that you might like. Like this one would be pretty too. So I think any of them would work. But there's our box. I'm going to set that aside. Okay, box done. Oh, and then you would put, bring it back in for just a second. I only put one little bling right there, but depending on what you're doing here, you might put more bling, around on your flowers too. Okay, so the first card is this one here. And when I started doing my pre-coloring, I got ahead of myself and I started coloring with the markers and not with the blending brush. So the directions say to use the blending brush, but they also always say, depending on what you're doing, you could use either or. But for the easiest way to do a card, just take your blending brush, which we're going to do the blending brush technique on the second card just to show you how much easier it is. But I already have started with this card with the coloring. So I'm going to put that here, and then I'm going to finish here and just kind of show you. So I am not a fancy colorer. I'm not sure if that's a word, but, and I've said that before. I don't spend a lot of time, getting all those fine details that some people do. So I just literally go through here I'm using the light. My bad, don't keep that underneath there. Our alcohol markers do bleed through. So be aware of that. And as you can see, I already did most of them. And I just alternated between the light and dark. And then I did go back and kind of do a little bit of highlighting, like with the dark on top of the light. And these little tiny flowers, yeah, I'm probably getting out of the lines. I don't care. I don't really think it matters. Okay, so that's probably all of that. And let me just go back and do a little bit of highlighting here. And then I see I have a couple leaves that, like I said, see, I don't do a whole lot. I kind of use, if it's a stamp, I use parts of the stamp depending on how they've designed it. And with this paper, I kind of use the lines they already have here to kind of help me do some highlighting. Outside of that, I don't do a whole lot. But honestly, the blending brush just makes it so much quicker, like we did there. But we did color a lot of them, so you'll see. So now let me go back. We're going to finish up some of these leaves. And this is like, that's a flower. There's a flower. This is when you see where you miss something too. And it's when you're coloring something like this, it is really easy to miss something. I think that, oh, this is the light. I was thinking I grabbed the dark. But we'll go back over some of it with the dark. Okay, leaf here. Leaf there. That's a corner of a leaf. Leaf there. And then I'm going to go back with the dark here and just do a little bit of, like I said, nothing fancy. Missed that one. Missed that one. And then I'll catch these couple of petals I missed. And I think that's it. Okay. And then what we're going to do is assemble everything. So I chose it to go like this, which I think it looks really good like that. And then we're going to lay it on top of a piece of basic white. And one of these, clearly, I must have cut this one too long. But let me take a look here. So it should be 4 by 5 1/4. So this should be 3 3/4 by 5. Oh yeah, 1/4 of an inch. No big deal. So I just need to trim that down when I cut it. So all we're going to do is attach this to this, this to this. And I already stamped my phrase. This will go here, and we're going to add some ribbon behind there. So this is going to go on here. just like that. We're going to attach this here. Almost put it on upside down. Just like that. So recently we've had our basic white cardstock was unorderable. I was in a panic because I keep that in stock. However, I have been cutting for the holiday buffet card class and then for monthly club, and I'm down to like hardly any basic white left. It is orderable again now, so as soon as I do the final order for the holiday buffet class, I will definitely be stocking up. But I was in a panic there for a while because I thought, great, what am I going to do if we don't have basic white? Granted, I do like to stamp on shimmer white a lot, but you need basic white for the inside still. So yeah, I was in a little bit of a panic. Okay, oh, here it is. I thought, where did my circles go? So I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive behind here because now we're going to take, and all I do is like the I guess zigzag you would call it, just up, back, and I kind of just lay it down, and then I flip it and kind of look at it to see if I want to adjust it. If maybe it's not long enough, if I want, you know, my loops to be a little different, but I actually think that looks pretty good first time. And then I just cut that off. And then we're going to add some dimensionals back here. And I'm going to put one on each end of the banner. And then put a couple on the circle too. Sometimes it makes it hard to add dimensionals when you've got that ribbon there, because if the ribbon doesn't stick really good with the tape, it tends to want to pull up with the dimensional, but I think we'll be okay. Okay. There we go. Pop those up. Come on. All right. Oh, I was trying to pick it up with my finger thinking it was sticky and I missed one. And then I'm just going to put that right here. There's that. And I'm going to grab a couple of our blingity blings. I was thinking I didn't order enough of, excuse me. Excuse me. I have to get a drink of water. I was thinking I didn't order enough of the, gosh. All of a sudden I got a frog in my throat. Hang on just one sec here. I was thinking I didn't order enough of the champagne rhinestones, but then I found a whole nother package. And because I thought I did, but I, for the life of me, couldn't find them. Now, don't forget to do the inside of your card. This particular one, because I was using the blending brush, I just, you know, added a little bit of ink there. But you'll see as we go along. Now, I didn't cut strips for these. I forgot about it. But you can also do this kind of thing. So you can cut an extra strip and color it and add that to the inside. So just make sure you do that part. I picked different paper for some of them just to show you the difference of how it all looks. I honestly, out of these two, I like this one so much better right now. That doesn't mean this one doesn't work. It's just I like how that one turned out there. Okay, so project number 2, which, see, this is the paper that I used for this one, and I kind of decided to use it on this one. But we're going to do the blending brush so that you can see how that turns out. I mean, I know you all know how to use it. But you know me, I love to use the blending brushes, so I couldn't make a card without doing that part. Okay, so I have my Petal Pink ink. And I am just literally, and I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to random. And I'm going to start off the edge. Petal Pink's pretty light, so it's not going to come out very dark anyway. And you could kind of just do the center of it if you wanted. I'm kind of putting it darker right there in the center. And that's all I'm going to do. Easy peasy. Then we're going to add our adhesive, and we're going to layer this up on a piece of basic black and then onto the Petal Pink. Making some of our papers, whoops, I almost forgot the ribbon again. Add our piece of ribbon. What I was going to say is, our DSP papers have come a long way, and I'll tell you, you can do a lot sometimes just with DSPs and like markers and ink and a word set, and you can make a great set of cards, you know, like with the box or a bag, or even just make a great set of cards, wrap some ribbon around it, and you've got a gift for somebody. Because like I said, our DSP, especially this paper here, because you could do any color combo you wanted to do. So if you're like, oh man, she picked Petal Pink, I hate that color. Don't use Petal Pink. Pull out one of your favorite colors. And if you do that, post it out on our Facebook page so we can see it. Because I always think it's great when everybody shares like how they did theirs, what they improvised differently, or how they laid it out differently than maybe what I had originally done. I like to see it. Okay, and my goal here, did I do that on these two? Pretty much, I did the same layout on all of these cards, and you'll see that in Monthly Club too. I kind of did the same thing. You'll see how different you can make a card look, even though it is the exact same layout. I think sometimes we get too wrapped up in thinking that we can't, especially this standard layout right here, like 3 layers, you know, the 3 3/4 by 5, 4 by 5 1/4, and then your card base. I mean, this is pretty much a standard layout. And I think sometimes people think that, you know, oh, we can't do that same layout all the time. Well, we can. There's nothing wrong with it. Shoot, you can change this layout up so many different ways. I mean, they don't have to always be this proportional. You could do, you know, smaller card front. You could do, the sky's the limit, honestly. You could do it so many different ways. This one simple layout could be changed a lot of ways. All right, now we're going to add our dimensionals behind here. So my countdown is coming to when we leave for Mexico, and I think I'm going to get I am going to get everything ready, so I'm mailing out Monthly Club before I leave. That's today's this video. Tomorrow I'll be doing the other one, unless I get it done later today, but I doubt I'll get it done. I'll have it ready so I can do it first thing in the morning, but yep, I think I'm gonna make it. Now I'm gonna slide this over just a little bit. I wish I'd have put my ribbon over just a little bit more, but it'll be fine. There's that. And then I put 3 little bling. So I'm going to put that bigger one that I have right there in the middle. Now, of course, you could put as many as you want, as little as you want. You could put bling all over if you want, if you have more of them. I mean, I can't remember how many I put in the pack, but I know you have plenty to do the projects since I found that other one. So there's the blending on this one versus the first card. And then this was my original where I just colored all the flowers with petal pink, the 2 different shades of petal pink. So project 2. Now project 3, and I've done this layout before, and we've all seen it. We've probably all done it before too. Now I used the same paper this time. So on yours, I did not die cut because I figured you could use a circle, a square, a hexagon. Maybe you want to do it bigger, smaller. The sky's the limit here. I mean, I did it the same so I could show you the same. And actually I forgot, or I was going to do a hexagon and I forgot all about it. So originally my plan was to do it different so I could show you. But as you see, I got sidetracked somewhere along the way. Now, odd eye colored is this one little circle. Now, you could do like 3 circles, 3 little circles if you wanted in different places. I mean, that's why I say the sky's the limit on when you want to just highlight one little portion of it. That looks like leaf to me, and we're going to make that a leaf. Sometimes once you cut something out, it's hard to tell if it was a leaf, it was a flower. Okay. Again, just really quick highlighting here. I'm going to do the stems in the light soft sea foam. Honestly, the light and the dark soft sea foam, you can hardly tell the difference. The only way you tell the difference is if you go back over it more than once. And I've noticed that with some of the colors that you almost need to go back over it a second time to really get a difference. Now, that's not with all of the colors, but some of them. Like Night of Navy is definitely dark, even with the light. That's one that I always say start with the light. Okay. Make sure I'm not out of the camera there. And then I'm just going to go do some highlighting here. There we go. That is it. That's going to go on top of there. Just like that. Wish I would have remembered so I could have cut a different shape. Now we're going to add our adhesive to the back of this piece. And add our piece of ribbon. See, I didn't forget the ribbon this time. Layer this on top. Oops. Layer this on top of our basic black. Just like that. And then we're going to layer this on top of our petal pink, which I didn't pull out yet. And don't let that offset of those circles bother you because you're going to cover that up. I know right now it looks a little funky, but see, good as done. Good as something anyway. I'm not sure that's the right phrase I want to say, but you know what I mean. No one even knows you die cut from the back of that. We all know, but nobody else knows. Okay. And let's see. I think I'm going to put one here, put one there. I'm actually going to grab, these are a little bit bigger So I'm just going to grab another one at about that size, which is this size, I think. Yeah. And I'll put it up there. Okay. There's our blingity bling. Went a little bit higher on this one, lower on that one. But yeah, I really wish I would have done a different shape. So do a different shape. Try it. Do one in circle and one in rectangle or something like that, because you guys are making... Oh, no, sorry. Getting ahead of myself. This isn't monthly club. This is bonus class. If you ordered extra packets, then you'll have two. You could do one in one shape and one in another. So, yeah, for those of you that did order extra packets, which you don't know how many times I've cut for bonus class and then had to go back and recut because I forgot some of the people ordered... extra packets. And then here again, here's the inside. So there you go. Just using that DSP. All right. Project number 4 is this one here. I used the, I looked at, like, this is this side of this paper, which I think we used on a different one. I had originally done it on a different one. And I thought I kind of liked the black, how it layered, anyway, I started coloring it and I liked how it looked with the black colored. Now, I had seen somebody do a card with this paper, and they took 3 strips, and I don't remember exactly which pattern they used. If it was this pattern, it was one that has white on the background, and instead of coloring like all the flowers and stuff, they colored the background, and they cut 3 strips like to go on the card front, and each one was colored, the background was colored different. And I thought, wow, that was a great idea, doing just the opposite of what we normally want to do. So as you can see, I already started this, so let me go back and like finish. And again on this one, a little, not as much to color here, obviously. And you kind of have to just pick and choose as to what you want to color and what you think is like. I'm thinking this kind of looks like pussy willow type branch. I don't know if it is or not, but I colored it green. I didn't really think it needed to be petal pink. But one thing I have learned with card making, you can do anything, any color you want. Nobody cares. So I could have done it in any color I wanted. I just think it turned out fine with the soft sea foam. And I did some in the light, some in the dark, and I went back over some of it. So, and the nice thing is here, you can color really fast because you're coloring on, you got a black background, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to really see what's going on if you make a mistake. So it is a little bit nicer. You don't have to be as careful. That was actually colored in soft sea foam, or the light soft sea foam. I just couldn't tell at first until I started coloring it again. Okay, if you haven't registered for the holiday buffet class, don't forget to register. Or if you know people that are interested, tell them to get registered. Jessica and I have designed some pretty cute cards, I think. I was in a little bit of a panic about that too, because the paper you're getting with it, of course, we're using in some of the cards. Well, 2 out of the 3 were unavailable to order. One of them has come back in order, which is coming in my order today with all the monthly club stuff, because I was able to order it when I did that order. The other one will not be back in until beginning of next week, but that should still give me enough time. I'm going to be cutting it close, but as far as I know, there'll be no specials going on next week. The the free shipping really kind of, one, I think a lot of people stocked up on paper, and two, then free shipping took them to get all of their orders out. It took them a couple weeks, because at the beginning of this week, I had called to ask some questions about something, and then I asked if they were caught up in all the free shipping, and she said no, they would be at the end of the week. So it's like, wow. So the free shipping was definitely a big hit. And clearly, because they ran out of basic white, people were stocking up on paper. I know I did. But obviously not enough if I had run out of basic white. Okay. Isn't that pretty? I mean, compared to what it looked like, I should pull a piece back in here just so you have an idea of really what it looks like when it's white. And just think what other color you could do. Like, here's a piece. Well, that'll be long enough to do for the inside. But look at the difference. I mean, it just changes it up just by that simple little bit of coloring there. And we didn't really do that much to this one. But again, like I said, you could use some of these, keep them the black and white. This paper, especially the back sides of some of these, the stripes and the dots and like the circles. Oh, you could make a great guy card with some of these. Be a great way to, and even if you added color. Now, I only left the skinny border around this one, which is always a little bit trickier to put down. I have to pay attention a little more. I don't use that skinny of a border as often, but I have noticed myself using it more than what I used to. Okay. Fold this in half. My Stampin' Buddy's in here with me today. That would be Cooper today, not Zachary. He is in school today doing his... Normally he goes to Monday through Wednesday in the mornings, but on Thursdays he does a special science class, and he is in that today. So he's not in here, but I have Cooper in here today. Now, I didn't add ribbon to this piece, but if you wanted, you certainly could. Because yeah, you should have enough that you could add to that one, because this is what I have left. So you should have enough left over. So the ribbon would have looked nice on it. I just didn't. I kind of left it. And oh, I don't think I said anything at the beginning. I was getting so excited about stamping because I've been cutting and prepping so many packets I haven't stamped in several days. I'm using the go-to greetings, obviously. That's my go-to set. And it worked well for all of these cards. So, and I've been using the hexagons and the squares, the stylish shapes, and the stitched rectangles. I have been, of course, in the circles, I always use those, but the stylish shapes definitely have become one of my favorite sets of dies. And I use them so often, I'm really contemplating getting another set, so when I have to die cut, I can be die cutting 2 at a time. Because when you see the projects for Monthly Club, I die cut a lot this time for that whatever it's called, Texture Chic or something like that set. I mean, we did stamping too, but there was just so many extra dies that you could use that I really liked. I mean, it's my own fault. I designed them. I didn't have to do it that way, but yeah, it made me realize, like with the hexagons and the shapes and the squares and circles and all that, that I might have to get another set of that stylish shapes because I use that one so frequently. The only reason I'm hesitant is because I did do that once with the ovals, because I loved the oval set, used it quite frequently, and out of the blue, one of the years, the they discontinued the ovals. And I had just bought the extra set. Because I thought, oh, I'll buy an extra set. I die cut with these all the time. Anyway, happens. Okay, and I just put one little bling on there. And again, don't forget to decorate the paper. See, there's how I did that strip. I think it just adds. And you could also do the envelopes too. Don't forget that, you know, you have lots of this paper. This paper goes a long way, so you can always get more. Okay, here is project number 5. And Jessica actually designed this one. I think I forgot to put that in the PDF. I'm going to have to remember to go back. Anyway, Jessica did design this one. Now, she colored hers, like combining the petal pink and the soft seafoam, which I thought was a really good idea. Clearly, she used the dark. I started with the light. So mine is not as dark. I didn't do this one yet. I'm going to do it right now, and I'll show you. But, yeah, I didn't ask. I just kind of, because I could tell how she did it. It's just, I always tend to grab the light and then might go darker, but it'll just give you an idea of the two different color variations so you can tell what you kind of want to do. Of course, here you do have to be careful about staying in the lines. And if you have the white marker, that color lifter marker does work. I have used it. Okay. There we go. Like I said, mine is not as dark as hers, but you get the idea. And then again, and I probably am going to have to end up cutting. I might cut this out right here and just use this piece. I think I will. I can already tell that I'm not going to like this. And you'll see right here, I am not the best fussy cutter. I've told you I don't really like doing it. I'm going to cut these, and I might tuck these under somewhere too. And you don't see me fussy cut very often. Okay. So this is just, here, bring it back in. This is just going to go on here. And then we're going to put it on our black. And of course, if you have extra ribbon left over, you certainly can add ribbon if you want. Oh, of course. Empty figures. At least I made it almost all the way through. And when I started, I kind of looked at it thinking, oh, do I have enough? You just have to roll the dispenser a little bit on the Stampin' Seal, but this is the least favorite of all these papers. I didn't like the leaves as well. That's why she's like, oh, there's leaves. And I said, here, you do the leaves. I'm struggling with it. I really couldn't decide what to do with it. So, because it wasn't my favorite to use. Sorry, I think I just bumped the camera with my head. Okay, there's that. And then all we're going to do here is we're going to put this, and we are going to tuck this right here, kind of like that. And I think what I might do, I think oh, I don't like that right there. Yep, I think I'm just going to tuck it right there. I'm going to put a little piece of adhesive there, and I'm going to tuck this over here. And then I'm going to add some more just to make sure. Layer it all on that circle there. And now I cut a little bit bigger circle than what she had used. You probably can't even hardly see that circle behind there. I cut a little bit bigger one just so we had more room there to put stuff on. And then we're going to add some adhesive. And because this little guy's kind of flopping around, I'm going to put a dimensional behind there too, to give him a little bit more stability right there. Dimensionals, gotta love them. I order dimensionals every time I place an order. One, they're good giveaways. And I like to include, when you get to your 6th month, I like to include some kind of either dimensionals, glue dots, something like that. Just because it's a staple we use all the time. Now, I don't necessarily always do like Stampin' Seal or Stampin' Seal Plus, because I know some people have their favorite types of adhesive that they like to use, but I do like the Stampin' Seal Plus. But dimensionals, almost always get either dimensionals or glue dots in your 6 months. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit this time. I almost wish I would have cut a bigger circle, but it's a little crooked. There we go. There we go. And I'm going to get a couple small ones out. Use a bunch of, now she used a bunch of different sizes, which it looks really cool. I usually tend to stick to the smaller ones myself, but there, I'll try one that size. I know, isn't it funny how we kind of move our dimensionals or our bling around to several different spots just to make sure it's where we want it to be. I'm going to go there. Okay. Stick these in there so I don't lose them. And there we go. There is project number 5. And again, oh, she didn't do anything on the inside of hers. That's right. But I would definitely, you can even do just the blending brush on your white if you wanted, but I would take a piece of DSP on all of them. That's what I did, except for the one that I did do the blending on. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to bring them back in. Let me clean up my spot here. Always looks like my camera's a little crooked. I hope it doesn't look that way in the video. Okay, there was our project 5, and we used almost all the papers. We might have used them all, one way or the other. There's project 4. Here's 3, and yes, I wish I would have cut a different shape. And then here's 2, which is kind of the opposite of how I did this here, because this was blended on this one, but I blended it on that one. But you get the idea. Blending or coloring, you can do either one or both. And of course, here's our beautiful little box, which I'm telling you, this is going to be a popular box. We're going to make this box again. You guys are all going to have this one down just like the other one. And you'll be like, not that box again, because I like this. I really like this size. I had seen this size out there. I got this one and the other one from now I can't think of her name, but her website's The Paper Pixie, but she does a lot of 3D things. Julie DiMatteo is her name. But she tends to do a lot of different 3D type things. It's bothering me because I got it off-centered just a little bit, but it's not the end of the world, Debbie. Leave it alone. Again, the stripes. I love the stripes. So there you go. There's the stripes and the dots. That gives you 2 different ideas of the paper. And of course, let's see, we have the circles. I don't like that one as well, but that's just me. I do like this one. That would have been probably my next choice. That's that. Oh, that's the one that's the backside of that. Let's see what else. Oh, there's the dots. Yeah, I think we used pretty much all. And there's the stripes, the backside of that. And this is the ones I was cutting from. Now, I have made a card. I couldn't find it. I thought I had played with this paper before. Well, I know I did because I had pieces missing, but I had made a card and I used the front and I think colored with it at one point. So, but I could have sent it on its merry way somewhere, but there you go. So that is the bonus class for this month. And I tried to do it, a little bit simpler one so that, it would be easier for me to put together. But then I decided to do the box and anyway, but I loved making it, and I'm glad I made the box so you guys get to see how to make that box. I think you're going to be very happy with that box when you make it again. And like I said, you're going to see this box again. I'm probably going to have to stock up on some more of this Velcro, so I'll have to look it up again. Anyway, thanks, guys. I hope you like all the projects we did today, and let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you all later. Have a great day. Bye.